Hello, my friends. It's Matthew Street, and I'm starting the video off with a bang. Just some recent stuff that I've acquired, and also I pulled out a box that I've had packed on a shelf in my basement since we moved into this place years back. And I went through and there's a lot of, junk and papers in there, but I found some Beatles related stuff that were just stacked in there. So I thought I would show you some things today. All right, so the first thing I wanted to show you is, and I just got this not too long ago, Let It Be on 8-track tape. So I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing that. I'm not like going crazy trying to collect a lot of 8-track tapes, folks, but when one comes my way and it's reasonably priced, I grab it, just for sentimental reasons and for collectible purposes. And I saw this and it was very cheap, under $10, and I grabbed it. Let It Be on 8-track. I like it because it has the red apple on it. I don't know if that's coming across well, but so that's the first item I wanted to show you. And before I move on, since I have your undivided attention, I want to promote a couple of quick channels, folks. These are great guys who I'm trying to give them a little bit of a boost, get them some more subscribers because they deserve it. They're nice people, great people, and I highly recommend go over and say hello to them. And if you can, please subscribe to their channel. They have some really fun videos over there. The first one is John over at BMX Seeker. Go check out John, say hello from Matthew Street, check out some of his videos. Nice guy, he does some Beatles, Elvis, power pop, rock and roll. Just a great guy. He does record flips at different locations where they sell vinyl and stuff. So check out BMX Seeker and say hello from Matthew Street. I'd appreciate it. And the next one I want to recommend is someone I've met in person, and I consider him a friend, personal friend here in the VC, and that's Allan C Records. Folks, if you haven't heard of Allan C Records yet, what are you waiting for? Get over there and say hello. Watch his videos. He just did a great series the other day. I haven't commented yet. He had 3 videos in a row about some really cool stuff he recently picked up, and most of it was Beatles related. And I have to tell you, he had some items I was drooling. I had drool running down out of my mouth, down my beard, off the edge of my beard and onto the floor. That's how I was so envious of the cool stuff he had. No, Allan, I'm just kidding, folks. Allan's a great guy, and he has some great stuff in these Beatles-related videos. So go check out Allan C Records as well. A friend of mine, I've met Allan at the Fest for Beatle fans, and I really enjoy his videos quite a bit. So that's my plugs. Now, some other things I found recently that I don't think I've ever showed you in this box I located was an old canvas bag. With handles on it, but it has a cool image, a unique image of the Beatles I've never seen before, so I thought I'd show you that. Maybe I'll use this the next time I go to the fest and I'm buying some goodies. I'll have my canvas Beatles bag. All right, a couple of DVDs to show you, which I found. This is kind of a cool one of Shea. I love the design of it, of the Shea Stadium concert. I mean, until they release an official one of Shea, folks, this is pretty much what we have, getting bootlegs and things. And this is a pretty darn good one, I must say. I really enjoy this one. There's the back with all the different programs being shown. I like that image of the Beatles. They superimpose running onto the subway near Shea Stadium. That's pretty cool. But yeah, a little Shea Stadium bootleg DVD for you. And this one I have to thank my friend Tom, who recently gave me this one. He gifted this to me, and I don't know if Tom watches all my videos. I know he's watched some. But Tom, thank you if you see this. But he gave me this really cool The Beatles Come to Town outtakes. You all know of that great show they did, the color, one of the first color performances of the Beatles done in Manchester back in late '63. I'm sure you're all familiar with the film, The Beatles Come to Town. This is the film, but it's also the outtakes. Really cool stuff, folks, because there was only so many camera angles during that performance by the Beatles. But what they've done here is you have the regular performance, but then if they had a camera that just focused on close-up of the Beatles, they'll show just the whole run through of that camera shot, or the wide shot. They'll show the whole thing with just the wide shot. And there's one that focuses on to the side a little bit. They'll show the whole show from that angle. So that's what I love about this, is you're seeing it from a different perspective. You're seeing George, you know, close up at times that you never would have saw him during the regular film. So it just focuses on him, or might just focus on John. But it's really good. All the outtakes from the Beatles Come to Town, and I have my friend Tom to thank for that. And I really enjoy this, folks. It's great. Some of the most pristine, clearest images of the Beatles in color we ever saw from those early days. And we really saw it in great, great condition in the Ron Howard film called 8 Days a Week a few years ago. And so it's nice to get some different camera angles on this. Okay, a couple of Beatles postcards that I found just in my boxes, just sitting in there. I don't know where I got these, where they're from, but there's one. There's the second one. But you get a kick out of that. I found an old 1964 The Tribute tour book from a show I must have went to, and I don't think I've ever shown this. So I have to say, there are so many great Beatles tribute bands out there, but I gotta say, in their day, 1964 The Tribute was right up there, probably one of the best doing the early period Beatles. And so I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing that. They really, really have it down, folks, this band. They've played Carnegie Hall before. They've played at the Cavern in Liverpool. Gary Grimes, unfortunately, has passed away. He's no longer with us. There's a different member who plays Paul now, but Gary was classic. He was one of the classic original members, played left-handed bass, and he was fabulous. Gonna miss Gary. Jimmy Poe is George Harrison. And you had Greg George as Ringo. I always consider this, just in my opinion, to be the classic lineup of 1964, and Mark Benson as John Lennon. And I say that because they had the look down, they had the moves down, the sound they had. I mean, they're still great to this day. I highly recommend, if you can see 1964, The Tribute, go see them, folks. They're a great, great band. But for me, the classic lineup was with, you know, Gary, Greg, Jimmy, and Mark. That was the classic lineup. And if you get a chance on YouTube, go see that classic lineup, and I think you'll be very impressed. But if you have a chance to see the current band, the current lineup, highly recommend it as well. I've seen them also. This was in my box, an old edition of Beatle Fan. This one goes back to when the Capitol albums came out on CD, so this got to go back quite a few years. And just talks about a lot of different stuff, and a nice picture of Ringo on the back. Looking rather hip-hop, I might say. Found that in the box. And this I found. I've been looking through some of my stuff, and I have a lot of Paul McCartney tour programs from all the different tours I've seen over the years, going back to the 89-90 World Tour. But I couldn't find this one. I was wondering, I know I went to that show and I must have bought the tour program. But back in 2005, the Us Tour. Do you remember that tour? Well, stuffed in this box, I found my tour program. He was touring, promoting Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. And this is a great tour book. And I'm going to show you a little bit of it, folks, because I think you'd enjoy seeing it. Paul. Who saw this tour in 2005? Raise your hand if you did. Man, I have to say, I've seen Paul on many tours, many times over the years. But the 2005 tour, for me, was one of the best. One of the best I've ever seen of Paul on tour. I don't know if these are translating well, but I'll show it to you anyway. Okay. Folks, he was in great voice. He looked good. He sounded good. He was hitting the notes. And the other big thing was he changed up the tour list a little bit. This 2005 tour, he really mixed it up. he was throwing in stuff like Please Please Me, I Will, I'll Get You. Just unbelievable. Great shot there, Paul. He was just, this has to be one of the best set lists from all his tours that I've ever seen. And I love all Paul's tours and all his shows, but in the last few years, you know, before COVID and everything, when he was still touring, you know, the set lists were getting a little stale for me, for someone who has seen him so many times. But in 2005, no way. He came out there and he knocked me out with the set list. He changed it up so much for that tour. Can anyone back me up on that out there and say that you really felt he changed up the set list? Because I wish he would do it for more of his tours. I wish he would mix up the songs a little more. And again, now it might be a little too late because I don't know how much more touring Paul is really going to be doing. But boy, if you ever come up to me and say, Matt, what are some of the best times or your favorite times you ever saw Paul McCartney? And I would always point to this Us tour in 2005 as one of my favorite tours of all from Paul. Absolutely one of my favorites. I mean, other than the first time I ever saw him on the 89-90 World Tour, and I was like in the second or third row right in front of Paul's piano. I mean, that was certainly a moment I'll never forget. But I'll always go to this show that I saw in Boston in 2005 because he just sounded. I'll give you an example. He got to the point where he was getting ready to play. I could tell he was getting ready to play Maybe I'm Amazed. And I was nervous for him. I was like, oh boy. Well, I don't think you want to see this picture, folks, but I'll show it anyway. Woohoo! Look who that is! But we can't end on Heather Mills, can we? That wouldn't be good. So let's keep going here. Anyway, folks, he gets to Maybe I'm Amazed, and I'm like, I don't think he's going to be able to pull this off. How's he going to pull this off? Look at that great final, nice shot of Paul. How's he going to pull off Maybe I'm Amazed? Folks, this was 2005. One of the best versions of Maybe I'm Amazed I've ever heard Paul do live. I'm not kidding. To me, it rivaled, dare I say it, 1976 on the Wings Over America tour, which I've seen on film and stuff. Folks, he nailed it. He nailed it. And for a guy at the time who was like 63 years old, I got to give him all the credit in the world. It was fabulous, folks. So I just wanted to show you that. It just brought back some memories of that tour. What a great, great tour. If you had the chance to see it, I'm sure you can attest and agree with me that it was fabulous. And last but not least, folks, is I made a little photo book or a card book for my little young grandson. He's 5 years old. He'll be 6 later this year. But I had some extra Beatles cards. Remember, I've been talking about Beatles cards lately in some of my videos. Well, I took a little thin 3-ring binder for him. I put a little picture of the Beatles in the front slip sleeve. Let's just see. I want to show it to you before I give it to him, see what you think. And I put some Beatles cards in there for him. Give you a little gander at that. So he's got some special ones there. And then I have a lot of extras I had from the 90s I threw in for him. So I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing that. So he's going to be getting his own little card book, and I think he'll enjoy it. He likes the Beatles. He likes a lot of other music. Likes Weird Al Yankovic, too, which I think is great because I like Weird Al Yankovic. And, oh, I got one more thing to show you. Back on that 89-90 World Tour, I bought a Paul McCartney sweatshirt. I wanted one, and they were so cool looking, and I bought it. And, folks, I still have it to this day. It's Fruit of the Loom. I guess Paul's contract was with Fruit of the Loom. I don't know. Anyway, I bought this sweatshirt, and I still have it all these years later. Real nice white sweatshirt. It's got a little wear and tear around where the chin area is, where you kind of like my scratchy beard would scratch it up a little bit, even though I didn't have a beard back then. But beautiful sweatshirt of that. This is official gear from the first time I saw Paul. Give you a look at that. See that? Got the tour dates on the back. Just a beautiful, beautiful sweatshirt. And I'm just saving it for collectible purposes now, folks. So I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing that. So that's it. 15 minutes of Beatles, and more Beatles. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope everybody's doing well. I'll be back for another episode of Matt Mangle's McCartney very soon, the Flowers in the Dirt episode. And I've got some other ideas in my mind that I want to get out to you. So take care, everybody. God bless. Love you all. I appreciate your support here. And please comment and say hello. And don't forget to check out Allan C Records and BMX Seeker and say hello for me. Thank you. Bye-bye.